As Greg told you, you're looking at someone who thought at one particular time had all the answers. Not only am I a recovering alcoholic, I'm a drug addict as well. And what I'm going to tell you is not very pretty. What you heard on the tape, most of you, is true. I spent the last 35 years in the penitentiary. And believe me, I was younger than most of you guys when I went to prison. I was 15 years old. Because I thought I had all the right answers. Living on the streets, walking around, playing around with guys out there would waste you in a minute. And these people are known as the mafia. Professional hitmen who would walk up to you, place a gun in your mouth and pull the trigger and walk away and laugh about it. Or they cut your head off and think absolutely nothing about it. These are the people that I associated with at the age of 9 years old. I came from a dysfunctional family. I had put in foster homes, put up for adoption 3 or 4 times. So life for me was not a bowl of cherries. It was a bitch. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I was living. I didn't like the idea that my old man would pick me up and throw me halfway across the room and kick me in the ribs. I didn't like the fact that he kicked me in the head whenever he wanted to. But he didn't like me. And I often wished he would die. And eventually he did. I often wished my mother would die, and she did too. So I grew up on the streets in Jacksonville, Florida, liking what I was doing. I liked it. The fact that I could drink. And I could pop a few pills and I would feel good. And eventually I wound up in the state penitentiary for murder. Because I took a gun and blew a man's guts out. It wasn't done on purpose. It was an accident, but they didn't look at it that way. They charged me with murder in the 2nd degree. I was sentenced to die at the age of 15 years old. They took me to the state penitentiary and put me automatically right on death row with all the big time killers and guys who were in there for wasting people. And that's where I was put. A man came around on the very first day I was on death row and brought me a jug. And I took my first drink of penitentiary whiskey. And I liked it. I liked every drop I ever drank in the penitentiary. I had no regrets. Absolutely none. And life began for me. That's where my life began. And I'm talking to the ladies as well, because there are state penitentiaries for women, and I'm going to get to the women's penitentiary. I'll give you an idea what the women do in there too. And it's not very nice. I hope it makes you think of something. This is why I'm telling you the way it really is. And I'm going to tell you about the ladies' penitentiary. But for the guys, you think you got an attitude. Well, let me tell you about attitudes. I went there with one too. I had an attitude, a real attitude problem, and they kind of changed my attitude a little bit. These guys in prison are not sissies. They're bad people, and they're sick, most of them. Real sick. They would walk down the South Block and you smile at them. They don't like the way you smile, and they're liable to cut your guts out and let it puke all over the floor and walk away and laugh at you, because they don't care about you. And I watched this for 35 years. I became part of the system. I wasn't a very nice guy when I was in prison, because I became just like they did. Not because I wanted to, because that's the way I was programmed. It was either live or die. So I became one of those people. I carried a knife, known as a shank. And I was very good with one. Very good. People would come to me and they say, David, I don't like this sucker, let's do away with him. And a contract would go out. Anybody knows what a contract is? That's a hit. And there's no place you can hide in prison. None. Absolutely no place to hide. There is no hiding place, because someone will get you. And when they get you, your life is over. Bottom line. You will die. A horrible death. And I watched it happen. I have watched kids get thrown off the 4th tiers like 4 storage. somebody will pick them up and toss them off the tier because they don't like the way they comb their hair. They don't like the way they say good morning to you. They don't like any of these things. And even your own cellmate might wake up one morning and not like the way you're looking when you're sleeping and decide to cut your throat. That's how they treat you in prison. Not very nice, is it? I don't tend to tell it very nice either. I want you to get an idea of what it's like if you ever decide you think you have all the answers. Because none of us have any answers. None of us. 1961, I met a man that I come to hate very much. I hated this man. But he showed me a better way to live without drinking or using pills. I had reached the point in my life in 1961 I was tired of living the way I was living. And I went to my very first AA meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I found that I didn't have to drink anymore or take any more pills one day at a time. And I haven't done that in 27 years. Amazing, isn't it? I have no answers. If you're looking for answers, I don't have it for you. I will tell you this. I will share with you what I do know. Unless you're willing to come to terms with yourself, chances are you will wind up in the penitentiary. And in the ladies' penitentiary, they have women in there that about 6'1", weighs 190 pounds. And they will make a believer out of you, and I can promise you. Because if you don't do what they ask you to do, they will take you and rip you apart with a knife and leave you laying there. This is how they treat you in women's penitentiary. They're just as mean and nasty in the women's penitentiary as they are in the men's penitentiary. They're not very nice people. The answer for me today is I came to believe in a power greater than myself who I call God. My life was so screwed up, it was unreal. Unreal. I didn't know how to deal with feelings. I didn't know how to cope with life anymore. I got off the booze and I got off the drugs. I didn't know what to do. I am not a religious person, but I do believe in a God greater than myself today. And this is why I am the way I am. I didn't go to school as a child. I had no formal education. None. I'm going back to school, but I have no formal education. And I look at each and every one of you, and I say to myself, this is where I could have been if I'd listened to my parents. If I'd listened to people that cared about me, I wouldn't be in the penitentiary. I wouldn't have went. I wouldn't have blown a man away. I'm not proud of these things, but I'm grateful that I found what I found in prison, a better way to life. Each and every one of you in here has an opportunity today. See, I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing in my life, but yet I have everything. I have everything today. Material-wise, I have nothing. No job, no money. But I am the most grateful person you will ever meet for what I do have. And what do I have? My freedom. I'm a full pardon today. I have a full pardon from the governor. I have my sobriety, and I have a God in my life. I have no job, no money. But yet I'm grateful for what I have. And these are all good feelings. I feel good about David today. I feel good with the fact that this morning I got up. I could walk outside, take a walk downtown. No cops, no hassles. The cops don't bother me today. That's a good feeling that I have. The fact that I have friends that I can call on the telephone and ask them how they're doing. These are all good feelings. But it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how easy it is because it's not easy. What is easy is open communication with other people. It's talking to someone else and saying, I hurt today. I don't feel good. And that's okay because feelings. And that's all they are. Feelings are not right or wrong. They're just feelings. It's being able to talk to your mother or your father or your brother, and say, I don't feel good about myself today. Let's talk about it. That's what it is. Open communication. Feeling good. Look at where you're at. Look what you have today. The fact that you're sending here, going to school, a chance for education, a chance to better yourselves. But yet most of you, believe it or not, will wind up in prison. Why? Because you think you have the answers today, and you really don't. You will go out here and try smoking a joint when you're 18, or popping some pills, and unfortunately someone will die out there. They will die. 89%, 90% of the people in prison there today are there because of drugs or alcohol. They absolutely refuse to deal with their feelings, to deal with life on life's terms. That's why they're there. Because they have all the answers. And I ask myself, how many of you sending here today have the answers to life? A mind is a terrible thing to waste. It really is. And you're all so young and have so much, so much. Ask yourself, what are you grateful for today? What do you have to be grateful for? Think about it. There's an awful lot to be grateful for. The fact that you're all here. You have a school to come to. You have friends. You have parents. They are your mother and fathers, whether you realize it or not, and they do love you. I've never had it, so I didn't know what it was all about. Today I do have it, because I have people that care about David today. I have people that love me, and that's the good feelings. Waking up and having someone say that I love you, or I care about you, these are good feelings. The fact that you can talk to someone, communication. In your classroom, down the hallway, going out to lunch. Communication. It's what it's called. Communication. Communicating with one another. Your teacher. The principal. They're human beings. And all a teacher is the name. That's what it is. It's a name. The principal, it's a name with a job behind it. But they're human beings. And they all have feelings. They all care. Everyone here cares. And that's how it really is. That's the way it really is. It's caring about another person. Being able to say hello to somebody. How you doing today? With a good attitude. Feel good about yourselves. Do something for yourself one time. Make yourself feel good. Because you're all worthwhile people. I'm worthwhile. I feel great this morning. I came down with the flu, but I still feel good. I feel great today. We all should feel good. Take a good look down inside of yourself and ask yourself what you have to be grateful for today. Because gratitude is what it's all about. Being grateful that you have an opportunity to do something with your lives instead of using drugs, going out with the girls or the boys, or smoking a joint. I think you're big time. Big time. And all the big time are still doing time in the penitentiaries. That's where all the big times are. They're still there. And they're still doing the same old thing, day in and day out, 24 hours a day. Nothing changes in there. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The horrible things of the penitentiary is when they walk up, cut your head off and sit in the middle of the table. And I've seen it. Just cut your head right off your shoulders and set it in the middle of the table. And when they take you and lay you down on the floor and cut your heart out, physically cut it out, and stick it in your mouth. And I've seen that happen too. If you think it's a joke, I can guarantee you it's not. It's reality and it's real. And I watched it right myself. I watched it happen. And it's not very pretty. That's what happens when people think, I've got the answers. Sure you do. That's why 90% of the people are in prison today. You have a way out. You know, there is a way. Try being humble. I have a God in my life today, and I'm proud of the fact that I do. And I get down on my knees at nighttime and say, thank you for this day. See, in prison, they have no holidays. They have no Christmas. They have absolutely nothing in there. Nothing. And you say, well, I'm going to call my mother today and write her a letter. Forget it. You have no rights in prison. Absolutely no rights at all. They're privileges, and you will earn them. Because you're not even a citizen of the United States anymore. Not at all. You've lost it all. And that's the way it really is. Today I'm a free man. I'm free from drugs. I'm free from alcohol. One day at a time. I am still a recovering alcoholic. Even though I have not drank in 27 years. And I have not taken drugs in 27 years. I am what I am today. And today I have to be a free man. I don't expect miracles anymore. I absolutely rely on them. And each and every one of you, I want you to know that you are one too. Simply because of the fact that you're sitting here this morning. There's someone up there that loves you, whether you know it or not. Because if he didn't, you wouldn't be sitting here. You would not be sitting here. Neither one of you. Not a one of you would be sitting here today. None of you. That's a simple fact. There are no mistakes or coincidence. It was no mistake that I was asked by Charlene to come over here. Because I want you to understand what life is really all about. I want you to get a picture in your mind. This is life right here today. And you're all worthwhile people. Every one of you are worthwhile. You all have something to offer. You really do. Think about it. Think about where you're at today, what you have. Think about the home you live in and the love that you get. I've never gotten anything I wanted out of life, but I've gotten everything that I asked for through unspoken words. Everything. Every dream I've ever dreamed in prison has been fulfilled today. Every one of them. I have a beautiful lady in my life. I have two beautiful children. Absolutely beautiful. And it was simply because I asked a God of my understanding, and he gave it to me. When I came to Moses Lake, I had nothing. I had no job, I had no money, I had no place to live. None. No clothes, nothing. And it's not important. I do not put material things into my life today. They are not important. Cars are not important. Nothing is important. They're nice to have. It's nice to be able to wake up, wear clean clothes, have nice clothes to wear. And no one's knocking on your door and saying, let's go to jail. It's a good feeling. It really is. So I'm grateful for what I have today, and not for what I don't have. That I have friends. Many of them. All over Moses Lake. People are calling me all the time. I love it. I love it. That people care about me. When we learn how to be a friend to ourselves, then we learn how to be a friend to others. And that's what's important, being a friend to yourself first. Think of yourself as a good person. And you are. All of you are good people. Every one of you. Even your teachers. Good people. God makes no mistakes. I used to think he did. But I looked at myself like a piece of junk, a piece of garbage. But I'm not today. I'm a human being. Today I can get on the phone and call somebody and say, I feel terrible today. I don't feel good at all. But they're only feelings. And these feelings will come and they will go. They're just feelings. Feeling good. When your esteem is down this low, how do you feel good? You talk about your feelings with someone. Your teacher. Greg, Charlene, the principal. Don't look at him as a man who is there to discipline me. Talk to him as a human being. A one-on-one communication. Talk to him about what you're feeling. Ask him. Say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. And watch the results. It happens. If you really want it, you have choices. You go out there and do your thing, but I'd hate to see you wasted out there. And there's a waste out there. I know what the streets are like. And I know what's waiting in the bars. I know all the drugs are at. But that's what you want. It's your choice. It is your choice. But I'd rather see you guys grow up and have something than to grow up and go in the penitentiary. It's much easier out here than it is in there. See, I don't have to go back there anymore. Not ever again. I love it out here. I have come to love David. And I've come to love people. And each and every one of you are loved this morning, whether you like it or not. I do. I love all of you. And there's nothing you can do about it. No matter what you say, you can't take that feeling away from me. But they're my feelings. I own my feelings. You can't take my feelings away from me. And I can't take your feelings away from you. I'm not God. You have to deal with your feelings. And that's how we live. One day at a time. One day at a time. Just think about what you had today, where you're at, how much you have, and be grateful for it. Learn how to say thank you. I learned it to your parents. Learn how to say I love you to someone. It's a bitch when you have to do that. It's tough. Man, I don't love nobody. But you do. You really do, and you don't know it yet. And it will come. It will come. Anybody have any questions? Yes, John.
Do you have any suggestions to us as far as how to deal with peer pressure, as far as drugs?
How to deal with peer pressure. You're a mother. Peer pressure. Well, my suggestion, if you're having problems with your parents, okay? And I said this yesterday, and I'm going to have to say it again. If you can't deal with what's going on in your home, okay, then I suggest you call someone, a friend or an older person, okay, and try to get an open communication going of some kind. You know, try talking to your parent. Say, hey, I want to talk to you now. You know, but be nice about it. You know, talk to your dad. Sit him down. You know, I would love to. I would love to say that I have all the answers for you. Yeah, I don't have parents. You know, and I've never been in that situation. You know, is trying and talking about your feelings, and that's what you're dealing with, Brian. You're dealing with feelings that you never dealt with before. And you have to learn how to deal with this. So you do it very slowly to an older person if you feel more comfortable, or to a younger person. Well, find someone you can talk to. And it's important to do that. You know, to find someone you can talk to. Another teenager of the same sex. And I strongly suggest you talk to a male instead of to a female.
David, I think probably he was questioning more on is like the kids in school and the kids around his age that try and pressure them to take that drug or to take that drink or...
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically what you said could also be used, to help with that. But
When you're approached by someone that says, hey, let's go out for a joint, let's smoke a joint, just look at them and very nicely say, no thanks, not today. I'm not in the mood for it. I have other things to do. Or they ask to go out for a beer and say, no, I don't think so. Be able to look at them, Brian, in the eyes and say, no thank you. I'm not drinking today. I don't feel like drinking. Or I don't want it. Just say no. Learn how to say no as you learn how to say yes. Now we learn how to say no. That goes for everybody. If you don't want to take a pill or smoke grass or drink a beer, you don't have to. You simply say no. And if their feelings are hurt, it is not your problem. It's their problem, not yours. So you walk away from it. And when you're able to walk away, then you start feeling good and say, hey, I walked away from this guy or this girl, and I feel good. When someone asks me, would you like a drink? And I say, not today, thank you. I'm not drinking today. Simply say no. And walk away. Anyone who doesn't want to drink or take a pill or smoke a grass can walk away from it. No one is putting the gun up to your head and say, drink this sucker or I'm going to waste you. No one's doing that. No one's twisting your arm. You walk away. You can do it if you really want to. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to drink or take drugs. Get high on life. Feel good about what you're doing in your life. And if you don't like somebody getting in your face, walk away from them. You don't have to stand there and prove how tough you are. I've done that. It's not the answer. You walk away. Do you think they're putting pressure on you? Just walk away from them. Don't stand there. Don't be in that environment if you don't want to be. You don't have to do these things. Just feel good. Yes?
Did you start going to AAA in the prison?
Yes. My sponsor started the first AA meeting in prison.
No, when you say that again, I missed that. Your what?
My sponsor. AA sponsor. He was the person that helped me not to drink one day at a time.
Was that a counselor that worked in the prison?
No, just another convict.
Another convict. Did you want to go when you first went?
No, I didn't.
What made you go?
Well, I was sitting in my cell and I said, well, I think I'll just get out of my cell. Something to do. And I went there for all the wrong reasons. They have free coffee, they have free cookies, rice pudding once in a while, or vanilla pudding, if you like the taste of it, because it tastes like crap, you know. And I didn't want to hear these people telling me, hey, you don't have to drink one day at a time if you don't want to. Made me absolutely miserable. I said, you're a bunch of sickies. Look at you coming in here telling me you're not drinking one day at a time. You lost your wife, you lost your girlfriend, you lost your dog. Your wife ran away with 2 other guys, sold your house, took your car, took all the money, and now I think I'll have a drink. You guys are really sick. I don't have any problems. That's why I was in prison. And I had to look in the mirror and ask myself, what are you doing in here if you don't have a problem with booze or drugs? Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the same question. Take a look in the mirror. So that guy in the mirror that you're looking at is the only one you have to deal with. You can con everybody you want to, lie to everybody you want to lie, but eventually it will eat you up. So I had to deal with it one day at a time, not to drink and not to take a pill. When I learned to do that, I started feeling good, and I love it. Yes.
How long did it take you to stop completely? I mean, did you drink or take something in prison every single day?
Yes, I did. Then in 1961, I had my last drink, and I chose not to drink anymore, one day at a time. I took it a day at a time.
How long had you been going to these meetings though before you actually didn't ever take anything more?
From 1961 right up until the day.
But I mean, had you gone to the AA meetings in prison more than once? I mean,
Oh yes, every day.
But I mean, so how long did it take from the day that you first walked into the very first meeting to the day that you were able to say, I mean, like, did you like go one meeting and say, well, that's a bunch of, you know,
I had to go every day.
Go back to your cell and drink?
David?
How long did it take before you were finally able to give it up and never had another drink from the first time you went to the first meeting?
Okay, what she's asking is, when was your last drink? Before you went in the meeting or after you went in the meeting?
Before I went to my first meeting, in 1961, October the 31st, that was my last drink.
And so from the first meeting you went to, you never went back into the first meeting?
I went to meetings every day.
Because they said something so powerful in that meeting that it was made.
Yes.
Really?
I came to believe in a power greater than myself, whom I choose to call God. And through this loving God that I have today, He has helped me maintain my sobriety one day at a time. And through the people in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous who came in there and sharing their stories, as I'm sharing with you, their feelings, how they don't drink one day at a time. What do? And they associate with other people who don't drink. They get around people who don't drink or take drugs. So this is their association. And reading what they call the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which helps. Working what they call the 12 steps. We admitted we're powerless over alcohol and our lives have become unmanageable. If your life is unmanageable because of drinking or pills or smoking grass, then you have a problem. Don't do this, and these things will work themselves out if you don't drink. If you're missing a job or you're becoming miserable and you're taking a little too much in the morning to feel good, smoking the grass, a joint, whatever it is, just to feel good,